Hi, it's Blaze again with Blaze Handcrafted Woodworks. I'm going to make a little short video of how to make a pan. I call them pan racks, the little dividers you can pull in and pull out and separate all your cooking sheets or pans. So I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so the first thing I did is I made 2 cleats. So I cut my spacers. This is 1 3/8, so I cut these at 18 5/8 because I want the top to be at 20. Most pans, like the largest ones, are 18 inches, and I just can't see wasting all this space. So up here, there's gonna be a shelf for like lids and I don't know, whatever the customer decides to put up there. So I'm doing that right now. Always use glue. Okay. So right now is I'm just capping this with lumber for aesthetics, so it looks nicer when it's all said and done. There's no real purpose for this except for it just looks so much nicer when you trim everything out, in my opinion. Cool. I forgot I got a fancy remote now. Okay, so my little dividers are going to be a 1/4 inch, and since a blade curve or a blade thickness is 1/8 of an inch, what it cuts out is called the curve, which is 1/8 of an inch because the blade's 1/8 of an inch. So what I have to do is I have to cut the center of this, and then I have to move it over 1/8 of an inch to leave a 1/4 inch dado, so that when I slide my dividers in, they'll fit. The reason I'm saying that is because obviously I'm using, or maybe not so obviously, but I'm using 1/4 inch for my dividers. I'll show you that later. One thing I forgot to mention is that it's not perfectly symmetrical. You need to run one piece going front to back and one piece back to front. So I can tell, even though I use this piece for aesthetics, it lets me know this is going to be the front. So this piece right here, I have it going towards the back. So I'll run them both ways. Okay, pretty cool. So here's what we have so far, and now I think it makes more sense why I put this piece of lumber on here. It just makes it look way better than if you saw the edge of the plywood. So now I gotta make my dividers, which I have a pattern for. It's super easy to do, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that real quick. There's a board over there in my way. If you ever have to stop a cut like that, it's no big deal. But when you start your saw back up, slide your piece back so it's not touching it, just to prevent a kickback or anything. And then hold it when you start it, just in case it wants to take off on you. But it's fine. Okay, these are my 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be my dividers. What I decided to do is I'm going to pin nail them together so that I can cut all 3 at once. Be more efficient and go quicker. Okay, now that I've pinned these 3 together, they're stuck together, I'm going to take my little pattern and put it at the bottom. I got it drawn out. I'm going to bring it to my bandsaw. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to sand it. And then we're going to try them out. I'm walking across the shop. It's warm today, to say the least. It's hot in Louisiana, South Louisiana. Okay, I realize you can barely see my line from my pattern. But what we're gonna do is, or what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna cut this shape out on this side of my line. Then I can use my sander and I can sand right to my line and get it perfect. If I tried to cut that out freehand on a bandsaw and get it perfect, there's no way I could do it perfect. So I have to leave my line so I have a reference point to sand up to. Once I'm done with all that, it should be perfect. Or reasonably perfect. Okay, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. But I got my rough shape out, so now I'm just gonna sand it down smooth, and then we're gonna go try them out. So here's my sander that I'm gonna use. Okay, so I got them all sanded. Now I just got to take them apart and go make sure they fit. And then I'm done with the pan rack. Okay, so everything's fitting nicely. I just got to pull these little pins out of this one. When I said that I was pinning these together, I don't know if you can even see this, but this is how small a pin is. So whenever you're doing like real fine detail work or real fine trim work, you can use pins, and most of the time the hole is even too small to putty. So it's like, just not even worth it. They work great for holding things together, for putting little small pieces of trim on. So anyway, I love my pen nailer. So let me slide these two in to show you what it looks like. And I can move on to the next phase, which is, I guess, sanding this thing. Alright, pretty cool. So I'll give you a better look. Okay, so what I did too is I looked up the measurements for pans, and I saw that most pans, the largest ones are 18 inches at their longest point. I didn't want to waste this space up here. So what I did is I just put this at 20 so that the pans, the larger pans should stop around right here. And then I figured this space can be utilized for maybe lids, maybe round pans, I don't know, whatever the customer decides. But anyway, I'll give you one more view of the island taking shape. I still have to make the 2 drawers for here. I have to make a door for this area. I have to make 2 doors for right here. I don't run a stile down the middle when I have 2 doors because it's just too cumbersome to get stuff in and out. So that's the reason why. We'll keep walking around. So the front of it, she wanted open shelves for her cookbooks. And then the back of it is just trimmed out like so and like so. So there's the island that I'm almost done with, and this is going to be the top for it. But I still have to cut it to length and width, but I need to finish this first. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope I didn't mention to tell you if something was really important or not, but I think it's coming out great so far.